Welcome, welcome. It's another live taping of the Was It Good podcast, now brought to you in sweater form.
Ooh, we are our own sponsors.
This was actually a Christmas gift from Arjuna.
Christmas.
Thank you, Arjuna.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Wow. Beautiful. Before we actually start the podcast, I have a breaking bombshell that I have to drop, and I want to get your
Cleveland thing.
It is guys. I'm leaving. I'm leaving Los Angeles. I'm taking my talents to Cleveland. No, the real one is it's actually not that big of a deal.
Oh.
But this week we will not be getting a new episode of Attack on Titan.
Wait, what?
Yep, they decided for some reason that they work really hard and they don't want to put in. Well, no, it was pre-planned, I guess, because of the holiday and everything. So there's no new episode tomorrow.
Well, they did not communicate it to us well enough.
They didn't. I was actually really looking forward
I was
to
on the Attack on Titan subreddit called Titan Folk.
Titan Folk. Okay.
And real quick, if you are just watching the Attack on Titan TV show, the animated show, and you're not reading the manga, do not recommend going to this subreddit because there's a lot of information in there that I wish I had not seen.
Oh no!
Oh,
you just kept reading it.
I mean, once you go down a rabbit hole, you kind of get lost in it.
You're just going all the way.
I have to know more information, and I fucked myself over there. But I don't know. Maybe I'll still be surprised because
No, you're done. You know everything.
that's true.
Damn.
You done fucked up, Ravi. You done
Dumbledore?
fucked up.
Yeah, Ravi learns all the secrets to every show from that subreddit.
I think there is a spoiler.
A spoiler
subreddit.
Reddit?
Yeah, like it will destroy every fictional story out there. It will just ruin it for you.
So isn't that just called what's the synopsis website that you used in college to cheat?
SparkNotes.
SparkNotes.
Isn't that just SparkNotes?
Is SparkNotes still around?
Let's find out.
Let's Google it. Let me
SparkNotes.
Google first,
Yeah.
and then
no,
Google
I'm gonna
SparkNotes.
Wikipedia.
SparkNotes.com is a website still.
Oh, nice.
Yes, is like still good.
Give me a book.
High Republic.
Wow, I couldn't
Nope.
think of a single book.
a book that we've all read. The Hobbit.
The
go with
Hobbit. Yeah.
Oh, I love the book. Hate the movies. That shit sucked.
Yeah. Hi.
The High Republic.
Hamlet.
Oh wow. Okay, so if now like when you click on the Hobbit, it has a summary. There's a plot overview. There's summary analysis of each chapter.
Holy
They have
shit.
a character listing. Main ideas, quotes,
Fuck.
further study. Well, I want to click into to see if it's like premium or a
So
full
we're-
plot overview.
So real quick here. We I guess this is a good time to announce we're also going to be doing, I think it's just the three of us. We'll be doing like a little mini book club / review of the new Star Wars High Republic book. I believe it drops or comes out this coming Tuesday. But does that mean I could use SparkNotes?
No.
So I
No,
don't
you
have
cannot.
to read the book.
Let's see if the book's on here yet. It shouldn't be though, right?
I mean, I'm sure they get access and early reviews. Is it on there?
Maybe.
Is it- is
It's
it-
not. It's not there.
it's not
It's
there.
not there. Yeah.
You know what? I will actually read the book, and then I will put the entry in on Spark.
So does that mean it's way easier now to not read the books?
Yeah.
But I mean, having said that, these were like paragraphs and like it was a lot of reading material. So it's almost like you're reading the book still.
SparkNotes was good
Well,
enough for you to cheat on
yeah.
those tests, so
Yeah.
it was kind of insane, actually.
I honestly didn't find that at all.
I never actually really used it.
I
but
used
it seemed like a
I
lot
used
of
it
information.
once. I used it. So in college, I had a class where we had to read like 2 books a week, and it just there wasn't enough time in the day with that on top of all your other classes and everything else you're doing.
Right.
And there was just like I couldn't get to the second half of the book, and I used SparkNotes for the rest, and it was just no good.
Ugh.
Especially because I guess in college classes they ask you for those finer details anyway, where they're like, "What was the dress that they were wearing in the 3rd chapter on the 4th page?"
Just to make sure that you
Probably.
weren't using SparkNotes.
Real quick for our viewers, can you do me a favor? Keep an eye on Christian Arjuna's shot. The camera is unfortunately sometimes focusing on Daniel LaRusso's face in the background.
I mean, that is quite hilarious.
So if they get a little blurry, just jump in the comments and let us know. Thank you.
Wow, I can't believe John Crease is 75.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
We'll
Anyway,
get
we're
to that.
talking Cobra Kai, so
Ralph
probably
Macchio is 59.
Oh, shit.
He's born in 1961, same year as our parents.
Wow. So either
Looks great.
he is an alien, a lizard person, or a lot of money went into his face.
Maybe.
I mean, if you're an
or
actor,
he just, keeps real good.
yeah, he probably has like a
Keeps
good,
real good.
healthy.
And then
Yeah. Maybe.
William Zabka, who plays Johnny Lawrence, was born 4 years after Ralph Macchio.
Wait, so he's
1965, so he would be 54.
holy
Nice.
crap, he plays a 40-year-old. Great.
They're supposed to be 40?
I believe they're supposed to be in their 40s. Yeah,
40s, yeah.
because so
Maybe. I don't know.
when Ralph, I mean, we could probably save this for the actual podcast.
that's
But
true.
when he played the Karate Kid, Daniel LaRusso, like back in the 80s, like for the original movies, he's supposed to be playing like a teenager, but he was in his 20s at the time.
Right. Well, so it's the under 18 tournament. So he's like 16 in the first movie, 17 in the second
Yep.
movie, right?
Yep.
So if you say he's 17 in 1985, 1985 is 35 years after. So he's supposed to be 52.
Yeah.
Is how old he's supposed to be. And then Johnny is supposed to be like a year or two older. So he's supposed to be like 54. So Johnny Lawrence
It's the right age.
is the right age. Ralph Macchio as Daniel LaRusso is younger than he's or
by
is
like 10
older
years.
than he's supposed to be.
yeah.
So
Well, anyway, let's start with the recording.
let me,
Buttons have been pressed. Recordings have started. Here we go. The intro. Arjuna, do you have the outline up? There, I believe, are some parts in there that you have to read.
yes.
So here we go.
Can I read? Should I read this like really badly?
Read it the same way I, read
think,
it,
I think
which
that's
is
gonna
badly.
be- Yeah. Match his energy.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Surprise, motherfuckers. Surprise, motherfuckers. These guys, motherfuckers. Cobra Kai, motherfuckers. Yes, we did indeed binge the entire third season of Cobra Kai yesterday, just so we could bring you this episode of Was It Good? That's how dedicated we are to this life. I'm your host, Ravi, and I'm joined by my two brothers, Christian and Arjuna. And just like that fact that Cobra Kai never dies, campy teenage drama will never die. And we love it so much, especially me. I live my own life like a campy teenage drama. Isn't that right, Arjuna?
Yes, that's very true.
What would you say is the campiest thing about me?
Your bathroom habits, which I will now go into detail about here and now on this show after a dramatic pause.
No, that's okay. On to the show.
You guys nailed it.
Do you think our acting was better or worse than Cobra Kai?
It was right on par. And actually, I didn't even think about making that comparison when I wrote this, but yes. Yes.
I have to say, the acting in Cobra Kai. I mean, let's start with the acting for this third season. I think we were all watching it, and Krishna, after the second episode, we paused and you're like, the reason the show works is because it is campy,
Yeah.
it is teenage dramatic, but the way in which the actors portray these characters, they're believable,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Even though it's so over the top and ridiculous.
This is elevated CW. Big time. This is what the Arrowverse and all those shows should be,
yeah.
right? Like it's drama, it's trashy in that way, right? Like the teenage drama and stuff, but it's well made.
Well made trash.
And they and the Karate Kid the Cobra Kai show believes in what they're doing, where the CW,
They don't
the problem there is that they try and appeal maybe to everyone, where the Cobra Kai knows exactly, it knows what it is, it knows what it's good at, and it just goes all the way in. It's not trying to be.
I
all
think there's a little
things.
bit more vision on these shows too. Not a ton, because it's definitely, and we'll get into it for this podcast, but I think there's a little bit more vision in the CW, which is kind of the old school television model of 22 episodes over a year. You're writing the season as it goes, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I mean, John Hurwitz, he's one of the series director and main writers. He, I believe, he's a huge fan of the Karate Kid, and it was like one of his,
Which is evident.
yeah, which is great because he originally went to Ralph
Macchio,
and
William Zabka.
and basically pitched them the entire thing. And I believe originally it was kind of like, yeah, no, we want to put that behind us. And after obviously some little convincing, some money.
Well,
you know.
there's like two things in pop culture that brought this back. It was like a music video that they did with the Johnny Lawrence character with William Zabka, and then something else that you guys are more familiar with, How I Met Your Mother. In the final season,
Right.
during the Barney Barney, the 2 days, whole season type of thing.
Yep.
Zabka and Machio appear as themselves in multiple episodes, kind of elevating the Johnny Lawrence is the real hero of Karate Kid, and that kind of brought up some more interest in it too.
That's
so
great.
I mean, it's awesome. I mean, Karate Kid was, or is, an amazing and fun 80s movie. It's one of the staples of the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great to see that they brought back so many people. We're going to break into, all the amazing cameos and appearances. My personal favorite, I'm jumping ahead here, but my favorite part has to be the return of the villain from Karate Kid 2.
Yeah, Chosen.
That entire piece was just great.
Mm-hmm.
Very well done. Very fun.
Yeah, actually, there's a lot, and I won't get into it, obviously we're jumping ahead, but there's a lot of stuff that they pulled from the second and third movies, but it didn't feel inorganic. Like, it felt, they touched on it, like, enough, and it served its plot points, and it was kind of fun, and I liked it. I think they spent, like, the perfect amount of time on it in this season.
Well, can we get into our one-word impressions?
Yeah, of course.
So if I can go first, my one-word impression would be Japan. Just because that, kind of piggybacking off of what you just said, the whole Japan arc where Ralph Macchio's Daniel LaRusso goes to Japan, just leaving his family behind and just kind of spending a few episodes there.
Rekindling old love.
Yeah, and just kind of like there's, they're hanging out a lot. They hang out at night, then they're back together again in the beginning of the day, and they don't say anything that they like had an affair or anything, but you could maybe imply a little bit that there's a little something going on there.
There's a spark, at least.
Yeah, for sure. And I kind of disagree with you a little bit in terms of I thought that was a little forced, and I don't think there was like enough repercussions from it. Like, I thought there should have been more repercussions that he wasn't there. I think the chi blocking that Chosen showed Daniel was really cool, and they obviously used it a little bit at the end there. But I wish it just definitely felt very fan servicey, right? In terms of just bringing back some of the old stuff, continuing those characters. But I just wish it had been integrated into the season a little bit better, right?
He didn't leave just out of the blue,
No,
though. Like, his wife did say, like, go and fix this.
Yeah, but that whole arc of like of Tom Kane coming in and being like, I have Toyota or Toyona, right?
Toyona.
Yeah,
right.
not Toyota.
The off-brand is Toyota.
yeah. The off Toyota brand. And like forcing kind of that whole thing in was kind of just No,
definitely introducing that character. I mean, they still did it in I think a nice way, right? Because that girl is the character that he saved in Karate Kid 2 from a tsunami.
Yeah.
And I think the whole theme was what was it? Like, the good that you put out in the world will come back.
Yeah.
And I think Karate Kid's always been about, like, fortune cookie sayings. Somebody said it when we were watching this, like, enough with the fortune cookie crap. I want to see some ass kicking. Yeah, I think you said it.
Yeah, I was joking because I actually love that shit. I think every episode had at least two conversations between two characters, and it was literal fortune, like right out of a fortune cookie, like the good that you put on the world will come back.
Look, the writing in this show's never going to win an Emmy, but
it should though. It should because it's so bad. But you still love it.
I believe the show has been nominated for 2 Emmys for fight choreography.
Oh, definitely. I mean, again, I'm jumping ahead. That's probably my least favorite thing about all of this.
What?
Was not all the fighting, but some of the fighting, specifically around Sam LaRusso's character. I don't know why, but it's just whenever she was doing her fight choreography, it just there wasn't like a lot of the same energy that you got from some of the other characters. Like Tori, for example, like when she's going at her and like fighting, she looks horrifying. It's like, it's scary. Like, yes, I would be afraid of that. Sam LaRusso kind of came across as like,
but she's supposed to.
Yeah, but even in the end, it just seems very kind of like her energy level just didn't seem like it was there.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's energy level. I would just say like the character of Sam, because she learns Miyagi-Do and she like really buys into the whole like Daniel
the
LaRusso.
Jedi way.
Well, she buys into the Kool-Aid, right? How many
Yeah.
times this season she's like, "We're the good guys," right? Like that's that whole Kool-Aid of like good and evil and whatever that Daniel's feeding her.
What's wrong with Kool-Aid?
There's many things wrong with Kool-Aid. Oh man, Johnny Lawrence.
That's gonna-
that was quite a few great Johnny Lawrence.
I think
lines.
that's going to be my one word impression is going to be Kool-Aid. Because it works on I think we all nailed, like, it makes sense, right? The entire season is a bunch of kind of like fortune cookie crap. There are 3 dojos that are formed at the end. three
dojos.
3 dojos, 3 different ways of thinking about martial arts, 3 different ways of living life.
Yeah.
There's this idea, I think
That's what's so
Reese's
cool.
character says it, like, there is no good, there is no bad, there is just
Strength.
and that stuff. And
Yeah,
yeah,
it's one
Kool-Aid.
way. It's one way to look
Yeah.
at it. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
like it 'cause
all
it's
3 of these guys are basically
psychopaths.
not psychopaths, but like they're borderline cultists, like
Yeah,
cult
yeah, yeah.
leaders essentially.
Yeah.
And
Well-
they're going after young impression. What the fuck are we watching?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, you're right, but that's the purpose. I mean, think about it, right? The best characters are the characters who have strong convictions, because their mission then becomes putting those convictions out into the world and affecting change that way, right? They believe in it so strongly that they believe everyone should think like this, and my way is the right way. And all 3 of these martial artists think that on some level, right? Even the quote unquote good guy.
Yeah.
Daniel LaRusso. So if you think about, and I think this is a very you see it in a lot of martial arts stuff, even anime. I think anime does this really well as well, where your 2 sides believe in something so strongly, and that creates like the actual tension, even more so than the fighting. Think about like Dragon Ball Z and Attack on Titan,
The series
Gundam.
of never-ending power-ups.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta wait for that manga.
Yeah. So I think for whatever reason, martial
Yeah.
arts is like just the external expression of like ideas clashing, I guess.
You should probably get back into karate.
No, I gave that up.
You should open up your own dojo.
Yes.
Yeah, but
we
mine-
should each of us should
Drunken
open up our
Master-
own dojos, because they would be 3 radically different.
Yeah.
Mine would be about just sitting and eating and not doing the karate.
Yeah.
Let's
So
just have
sumo
some.
wrestling.
Let's just have some Japanese food.
Oh, that sounds incredible.
God, I would kill for some sushi right now.
Yeah. Oh,
Can we pause this? I'll be right back.
Do you guys remember in season 1 where Kyler goes over to the LaRussos and he has the tuna and he cuts into it and he's like, Kyler's like, "Oh yeah, I don't like fish," and then Sam's like, "No, you do. You like fish sticks." He's like, "Oh yeah, I like fish sticks. You guys got fish sticks?"
oh my God. It's so perfect. It's so perfect.
And then the next time he's at the house is at the end of season 3.
And he's beating the shit like they're breaking and entering.
yeah.
Christian, we
for
didn't get to your one-word
Oh.
impression. What is your one
mine's very
word?
simple. It's going to be teenagers.
Okay.
And the reason it's teenagers is because the show is very much about teenagers. But even our adult characters in the show act very teenagery in large sections of the season.
Very true.
Which is great. So yeah, teenagers. I think that encapsulates the whole season for me. That's not a bad thing, by the way. 'Cause,
I like
let's be honest, teenage drama is
So our
some of the best.
one word impressions in order would come out to Japan Kool-Aid teenagers.
yeah.
Okay.
I think that's accurate. That's a
That's a description. Are we talking
accurate-
about like? Oh, I don't even know.
Jim Jones?
Jim Jones. If Jim Jones went to Japan,
Right.
If the cult was in Japan,
instead of
they
it
would be
wouldn't work
called
though, right?
Japan Kool-Aid teenagers.
oh dear. I think we have a spin-off idea.
I can't
An
wait.
alternate universe
I can't wait when we start hearing about the spin-off shows.
For
From
Cobra
Cobra
Kai?
Kai?
There's going to be a spin-off. I almost guarantee it. That's my bold prediction, actually. I'm calling it right now. Is at some point we're going to hear about a spin-off, and a spin-off is going to happen.
What would it be about?
No idea. But there's a spin-off coming.
Interesting.
I have no idea what it could be about.
Yeah.
Sitting here trying to think, and
Yeah. Because there are three aging martial artists are only getting older. So as if you were gonna do spin-offs, someone else has to take the
Aisha.
reins. And I'm not I'm just
the
not
character that
sure
they wrote off.
that they conveniently wrote off in 2 lines.
Yeah, so she's
Poor
going to get a
Aisha.
spin-off because she went to
We'll
a
get
private
to
school.
Yeah.
Went to a private school. So like
Private
we
school
do, Arjuna after watching this, sits down in a white room with a pen and paper, and he comes up with chapter listings.
I did it a little differently this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. I was getting there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But instead, he decided to do it as episode titles.
Nice.
So if Arjuna was asked by Netflix, I'm sure this is not how it works, but if Arjuna was asked by Netflix, hey, my man, title all these episodes, this is what it would be. Here we go, starting with episode 1. Remember, there are 10, so...
There was only 10 this time.
10 titles.
I did do 24 chapters.
Yeah. Oh, I really wanted the per minute title, to be honest.
Well, that
would be
would be
a
the whole
novel.
podcast.
that would be...
That's what we call narrative podcasts, and it would just be me
Ooh.
with like a little jazz drum, and then just like saying words, and then you just assume it's.
And then
people doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
So here we go. So episode 1. And I'm not going to sing this. Everybody Hurts. Like that song. Old
Vigilantes.
Exposition. The one where Ralph Macchio gets a free vacation.
Yep.
Karate Kid 2 was important. That's episode 5. Episode 6. Kyler's back, bitches.
Nice.
Episode 7. Eagle Fang is born. Episode 8. We're all in this together. The impassioned speech.
Nice.
Episode 9. Johnny and the ladies. And then episode 10, Christmas Beatdowns.
Yeah. Honestly, if those were the titles of these episodes, that's an Emmy. The show becomes award winning.
Do we have
Especially
what the actual?
Especially Kyler's back, bitches. That's not, you know why that's so perfect for him? Because that's his character. He's such a douche.
Here are the actual titles. I have them here.
Oh, nice.
Episode 1, the real title is called Aftermath.
Ooh.
2 is called Nature vs. Nurture. 3 is called Now You're Gonna Play. 4 is called The Right Path. 5 is called Miyagi-Do.
I like that.
6 is King Cobra. 7 is Obstaculus.
That's a word.
Oh, okay. It's got to be something a different language.
8 is for our dad. It's called The Good, the Bad, and the Badass. 9 is Feel the Night.
What? Feel the night? Oh God.
And 10 is December 19th.
December 9th. Is it a date?
That's it. It's an actual date. It's just
But it doesn't
called
say the
December
year, though.
19th.
We don't, because we were trying to figure out, is this pre or post COVID? A year would have been really helpful for that. Or is this like an alternate universe?
This
or
is
COVID
alternate
never happens?
universe world.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
So I think you can actually surmise what it is, right? So season 1, the under 18 tournament is in 2018, so it's like May of 2018. Season 2 is the summer that follows that, so that's summer of 2018, and then this is just the fall of 2018.
Oh.
So
Oh,
it's
so we're like a
September to
full.
December.
We've got a full, basically a year. So 2018.
Yeah. So it's interesting because season 1 is literally like the beginning of the school year. So like September of 2017 to like May, June of 2018. It's like a full school year is season 1.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And then season 2 is just the summer.
Okay.
And then season 3 is just the fall, winter, like September to December.
Okay.
essentially.
Okay. Oh, you're right, because it opens with them going back to school,
Right. Like 2 weeks later.
which we were
they
confused
delay it.
about, because it was like Sam got suspended for 2 weeks, but now she's at first day of school. So it's a little confusing.
So they say first day part 2. It seems like they closed the school down for 2 weeks.
okay.
Which
so-
kind of makes sense because
for
for those listening,
He got paralyzed.
season 2 ended with a full-on school fight.
Yeah.
Multiple kids. I mean, I would imagine, they would send everyone home, and be like, we got to figure out this shit. Like, the school administration really fucked up.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite parts, though, was their reaction to it.
Yeah.
Like, maintain private space, personal space, hugs, not fights. It's just, respect. It's just the last. And then how the kids at different points use that. Like Hawk, like, oh no, they're entering my private space. Like I think Arjun has a different opinion here, but I actually really enjoyed Hawk.
Yeah.
This season, because he was he encapsulates what makes the show great, which is way over the top,
Super over the
balls
top.
to the wall,
Yeah.
like. This is who I am. This is, like him and Johnny to me, like do the best at being who they're supposed to be in the show.
Sure.
You know,
Johnny's at least a complicated character.
Yeah,
with
for
many
sure.
sides. Hawk is just
oh man, I love it.
He's a little bit
When you're a kid,
complicated.
though, let's be honest. When you're a kid,
Yeah.
most of us are a bit simpler than we become.
no. You're right. I just and not to go too far ahead, but I mean I think Hawk is an interesting character because spoiler alert for those who haven't finished the season, he has a change of heart at the end of the season.
That comes out of nowhere.
And that kind of bothered me just because it felt a
That
bit
part was
unearned.
annoying.
They definitely hinted at it when he broke Eli's arm, but I just wish there had been more of an arc because he did like the most despicable things this season, right? Like they beat up another kid of Miyagi-Do to get the money. They, he
Not
broke
just beat up. It's not like bleeding.
Yeah, he broke Eli's arm. Like they did bad stuff, and then he's just like, you know what?
I will say though,
I'm good now.
I will say, you know why it works for him and no one else? Because in the first season, he spends 2 episodes being this
Scrawny.
really introverted kid,
Yeah.
and literally overnight, I think it's one day, he comes back into Cobra Kai, the dojo, with a spiky-haired mohawk and an eagle tattoo on his back?
Yeah.
Which continuity-wise, just to, not to play devil's advocate, but it would have been very red and swollen, and he should have had some saran wrap on
so maybe it was not overnight. Maybe it was a month.
Could have been a couple days.
Yeah, a couple days.
Yeah, but
you're right, though.
being that I have tattoos, the tattoos do not heal that fast. Especially one with color like that. That's not how
And
that
also,
works.
that would take more than a day.
No, it depends actually. Like it really comes down to your own pain tolerance.
Right.
Like if you can put up with the pain, you could get it done in a sitting. It also depends on your artist as well, how much they want to do, because again, it's time consuming.
With that amount of pain, maybe that amount of pain is enough to transform someone overnight into what he becomes.
I mean, I have a back tattoo, and yeah, so it's right on my left shoulder blade, because it's right on. Is it a what?
Is it a seagull?
No, it's the symbol from Final Fantasy X.
Oh, so
cool.
it is a
Nice.
sequel.
Yeah, basically.
might as well
But
be.
it's right on the shoulder blade, and that is anytime you do a tattoo on a bone or near bone, that is very, very painful.
Isn't the ankle like one of the most painful? because
ankle
it
and then the
has-
rib cage
Yeah.
is like some of the
Wrist,
ribcage.
wrist
Ooh.
too, right? Like if you get it right on the wrist. the
no,
bones.
it's that wasn't that bad.
What about
Or,
your
like, your knuckles,
what about your
right?
eyebrows?
knuckles are painful? Yeah, because it's
But
like
eyebrows
it's all
are-
bone,
Yeah, that's
like
true.
right there.
Yeah.
Like the people that have tattoos on, I no, thank you.
Yeah, that's crazy. It shows how badass you are, though. If you can get a tattoo on bone, you belong in Cobra Kai.
And then he doesn't
or the newly formed Eagle Fang.
Eagle Fang.
Well, we still have to figure out. Again, spoiler alert: the Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang
Team up.
combine at the end, but we don't know what they're. Is it called like Miyagi Fang?
Ooh.
Well, the way I saw that,
Eagle.
because remember the students all met at the Russo's house, and they were kind of filling out their charter. The one thing that they agreed on was that both dojos would train at Miyagi Dojo, because obviously it's a hell of a lot nicer and it's an actual place.
Yeah.
I looked at that ending with the students arriving and then the two of them together. I believe they are still 2 separate dojos,
Who are
because
like
when they go and enter the All-Star?
Under 18.
Yeah, the
All Valley.
All Valley.
U18.
Yeah, when they enter that, they'll be entering as 2 separate dojos. Because really, this is going to come down to, I mean, the coolest thing, and I don't think it will happen because it doesn't work in karate, is like a 3-way fight with Miguel, Sam, and then obviously Robbie. That would be interesting.
I think, if we were going to look ahead, that's probably where a lot of the tension of this next season's going to come from, right? Is strategizing for the All Valley, because as we know, the stakes have been raised with the winner getting control of All Valley, the future of All Valley martial arts. Very, very. I don't know why they would agree to that, by the way, but so it might come down to. Like, they're in the semifinals, right? And if you have to project the semifinals, by the way, I love martial art tournaments. It's the best part of Dragon Ball Z. They're great. They're fantastic. They're a staple of martial arts. Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was in many martial arts in the movies, tournaments, I should say. So if you have to project our final 4, right? Obviously, we have to have. Oh my God, Johnny's son's name.
Robbie?
Robbie. I keep forgetting Robbie. I keep wanting to say Jesse for some reason.
I think the show forgot Robbie too for.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. So we have Robbie. Robbie or Tori. Maybe both. Robbie and Tori. 'Cause that would make more sense. And then you would have probably Miguel and Sam, I think, right?
Yeah.
That would be the
That's the
final
most
four.
logical final four.
So,
Well, what,
the,
Hawk,
the
though?
tension will be that's the thing. The tension's going to be Hawk getting eliminated by somebody, right? Probably an ally.
Kyler's got to be in there too. They brought him back for a reason.
Kylo's going to get knocked out by someone. Dimitri, all these sub martial artists.
Ass face,
Ass face.
Which one's ass face?
Penis breath.
penis
One
breath,
of
and
them.
ass face.
Yeah, he's the
The 2 bigger guys that are buddies.
Yeah.
Well, no, but penis breath and ass face is the same guy, the one with brown hair, brown curly hair.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Why would you
Forgot
want
that
your
plot
nickname
point.
to be Penis Breath?
So that
No,
was
he
their
doesn't
rite
want
of
that.
passage.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Kids are dumb.
Yeah, kids
Correct.
are dumb. Yeah.
Kids are very
Yeah,
stupid.
I think that's going to be the final four, but kind of how the show has gone, I think they're going to remix it and do it differently because I think people will be like, oh, it's going to be Miguel versus Robbie, right? It's a rematch of the previous year, all that type of stuff, and then you're rooting for potentially like Miguel more of his time than Robbie, and I think they will still fight, but I actually think Robbie will win this time, and potentially it's going to be Sam versus Robbie, right? Because it's got to be the combined Miyagi-Do Eagle Fang versus the evil Cobra Kai right now, and then that's the descendants of Johnny and
Johnny and Daniel.
and Danny, right?
Yeah, that would make the most sense.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And
But
then
I think season 4, though, like ultimately, like where this is going, like I think you can boil it down to it's the battle to save Robbie's soul.
Yeah,
kind of, yeah.
Because
that's the
whoever wins
focus.
this tournament, whichever dojo wins, is basically
The
going
last
to
episode.
get Robbie essentially. Like right now, he's team psychopath Crease, but obviously his father wants him to come back. Daniel wants him as his
I mean,
student.
do you guys get the impression that can't last very long? Like Robbie as a character is too, normal to put up with Crease's antics for very long. Like,
Yeah, but his
he would have to have
distaste-
like a huge.
But he's lost trust
change.
in Daniel.
yeah.
And he's never really had trust for his own father. So, he's seeking some kind of guidance. And if
Yeah.
Crease gives that guidance or that fatherly stuff, I think he's going to stick around a lot longer.
But we've seen Robbie do like very heroic things in the first 2 seasons.
Mhm.
To have him going from that, even with his hatred of his father and his mentor, I don't know if that's I don't know if I would necessarily believe that. I mean, obviously this is Cobra Kai, so trying to
And you never die.
you never die. Trying to navigate through character motivations isn't that's not a strength of the show, I don't think. But even so. I think Robbie has to go through a lot of bad stuff to truly complete that transformation to the dark side.
And there's going to be twists. Like I bet the rosters aren't set. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I don't think it's gonna. I don't think I think there's gonna be more defections and changing of teams and stuff like
the betrayals.
Especially like with Hawk, for example, right? He's not just gonna be accepted and like everyone's good. Like I feel like he's gonna go back to Cobra Kai at some point, and maybe Miguel wants to go back to Cobra Kai, and I think people will change sides before we get to the U18.
Yeah. Do we think? Because do we know how many more seasons we have for Cobra Kai? Or?
we don't.
Okay. So because I could see a 5-season arc where season 4 we get to the All Valley and John Kreese and Cobra Kai wins, which banishes the other 2. And then the last season is
Redemption.
like, how do they practice that martial arts, like in secret or in a completely different location?
I mean, let's be honest here. That agreement the
come
3
back.
of them that came
yeah.
up with,
No
like
one's gonna follow through with
who's
that,
gonna like?
It's like John Kreese is not going away. From
Yeah,
this. Like,
he
that's
has
dumb.
his plans. He's gonna stick around. Like,
Yeah.
yes, well, like that's not how that works. They're not gonna
yeah.
call the cops like we told him not to do martial arts.
I feel like if they want a natural ending to the show, season 4 is probably it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think you're stretching it into like a second show or almost like a different type of show because
Maybe a spin-off.
Well, maybe it's. I mean, it depends, right? If the focus is on, Johnny and Danny and John Kreese, yes, you could keep the show going and keep changing the kids that they're training. Okay, it's not their descendants necessarily anymore, but you could keep that conflict going. But if you still want to focus on the kids complementing the adults, It's called the All Valley Under 18 for a reason. They're all 17. This is their last tournament. So it's not going to necessarily.
It wouldn't make sense.
It wouldn't make sense for they're going to move on and continue, and I assume go off and do their own things. But maybe that's part of it. Maybe they start training, and there's the next generation or whatever. But I don't think that's as strong as a show.
Yeah.
So it almost feels like season 4
sounds
should
like a
be the
natural
last.
ending. Yeah,
Right.
I
It should
agree.
be the last. Now maybe there's some other things you can do. The creators have talked a lot about wanting to incorporate as many characters from the other movies as possible. And one of those characters in the 4th Karate Kid movie it was Miyagi's second student, played by Hilary Swank. Yes. And
I completely forgot that movie existed.
It's considered like very bad. Like and 2 and 3 are not considered very good, but this one's considered like
epically
really,
bad.
really, really bad.
Shoot.
And it's Hilary Swank when she was like very young. She was a kid. And I think it was one of her first acting roles.
Is Daniel LaRusso or Ralph Macchio in that one? Okay.
That's the one that does not have him.
Gotcha.
So it came out in 1994, so almost 10 years after the original.
Yep.
Are there any plans to bring in Jackie Chan, Will Smith, and Jaden?
Well, so Will Smith is an EP on the show.
He is. Yeah.
He is an
Wow,
executive
he's busy.
producer.
He's real busy.
So they could bring in Jaden if they really wanted to.
I mean, why not?
Which would be, I mean,
So are we having a Karate Kid multi-universe thing now? Is that
why-
what's happening?
It's not
well,
a multiverse.
It could
right?
be
It's
in the same
universe.
It's easy to just say it's in the same universe because the whole movie is.
But isn't Jackie Chan called Miyagi?
No,
He's a completely different
character.
I haven't. Have you? Has anyone here seen that movie?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I haven't. Is it any good?
It is good. It's actually it's no Karate Kid, but it's not bad.
But it doesn't try to. I feel like it doesn't try to be Karate Kid either.
No,
It just feels like
it's,
something different.
yeah.
Yeah, Jackie Chan's character is called Mr. Han.
Mr. Han from
Oh, okay.
Linkin Park.
And the whole movie takes place in Beijing.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's right.
That's
You
different.
should
Yeah,
you should watch
it's in
it.
China. It's not in Japan.
Oh, okay.
So then-
Jackie
yeah,
Chan is
that's
Chinese.
interesting.
So then you
See,
could.
that'd be cool.
So
If we
then
got
you
two
could.
different styles.
Yeah.
of
So then you
martial
could,
arts.
I guess, have. What
Oh,
would you
that'd be
all
cool.
do if season 4 ends
with
and-
Jaden Smith
and like
appearing?
Jaden Smith and
I would
Jackie
applaud.
Chan just show up?
I would applaud because this show isn't trying to be like high art, right? That
Yeah.
makes you think real deeply. It is what it is. It's like escalating. It's very formulaic, right? Every episode has a fight scene, and the episode is building to get to that fight scene with some fortune cookie morality along the way,
Sure.
right? So if you can keep escalating it, and it's believable or somewhat believable, and the fight scenes are good, they can do whatever they want.
So
It'll work.
So and this is what you could. So speaking on that terms, the movie it was called Karate Kid, but in China it was called The Kung Fu Dream.
Oh, interesting.
So you could do something where it's karate versus kung fu.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's potentially the next arc if you really wanted to incorporate some more old characters and like, okay, now they've settled this karate thing, but now there are other forms of martial arts coming in, and like the morals and all that don't necessarily align, and then now you're getting remixes of different stuff. So.
And also, and they've touched a little bit upon this, especially in this season, with like Japan's history and how they dealt with invaders and stuff like that. And China and Japan have a very interesting history between those two countries. So if you want to go in that direction, there's actually like a lot of like really ripe material to explore. Like, just the differences in how Japanese and Chinese culture even interact, how they view each other's histories as well. It's like kind of intense, which would be perfect vehicle for epic campy teenage martial arts drama. I'm just saying, it could be done.
Oh boy.
It sounds like you're in.
No, I mean, I think it would be interesting. I just don't know if like
They're gonna go that way.
I mean, I could imagine like it's Sony Pictures, right?
Yes.
And then Netflix obviously distroing. So I don't know if they would want to
Oh, that's a good point.
risk that potential.
So it would be studio versus studio.
No, it's not that. It's just that for taking those two gigantic audiences, like a Japanese audience and a Chinese audience, and then throwing it into like an American TV show,
Right.
and then trying to distro. I
You
don't
have
know.
to bring in the right
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
For
yeah. It
sure.
would definitely be. It would be. I think difficult.
It would be difficult, but you know what? It's Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai never dies.
This is true. This is very, very true. In terms of like favorite and least part and least favorite part, obviously I mentioned mine. Towards the top, my least was Sam's fighting. Just kind of felt weak, and then favorite part was obviously, the villain from Karate Kid 2.
Mm-hmm.
Chosen.
What would you guys say your favorite and least favorite parts are?
I would say my favorite part has got to be Johnny Lawrence this season. I just felt like, and just like in the first 2 seasons, they leaned into his ignorance of technology even more. Hash brown, me too. Not knowing that the laptop needed to be plugged in because he thought it was wireless and therefore didn't need to be plugged in. The fact that he's very proud that it took him a few hours to figure out Facebook, not realizing that's a joke, he's getting made fun of. I just love it because he's, once again, that's the best part of the show, is that, that character and then also the actor is all in.
William Zabka.
Yeah, they're both of them, character and actor, are all in on portraying that that ignorance of young people and the modern world. So and there's something very innocent about it too, which is great.
Yeah, I thought they showed a lot of layers to his character, and I think him being at rock bottom at the beginning of the season with Miguel and Robbie, kind of, him feeling guilty, and just showing some of his redemption and stuff too. And I think it's getting a little repetitive. It definitely feels like they're hitting the same beats for a lot of these characters, especially like Johnny and Daniel.
Yep.
Every season they have a bonding moment and then they fight. Like, it just comes out of nowhere sometimes too, and it's a lot. And but I still think, despite that, Johnny is the best character of the show, because he's probably the most flawed, but he's also the most humorous. And I mean, props to William Zabka. He shows he's got range. Like, he can be emotional and he can be pretty funny too.
Yeah, I agree.
For me, I would have to say my favorite part of the show is John Crease's backstory. I really liked that they kind of humanized him a little bit. The flashbacks almost reminded me of the Arrow flashbacks in terms of the color palette and everything.
Yeah, especially when they're in the night, during the night scenes, and clearly it's done in the daylight, and they're just adding that night filter in post. Yeah, that was very CW, and then also when his captain falls in the snake pit, that CGI was just
so good.
Terrible. Chef's kiss, terrible.
But I just I liked that they're, Crease has always been very villainy and I'm the bad guy, and they've showed that he's a little bit more layered. Like, he was bullied too, and just kind of taken to the extreme. He was also fought in the war and had to see a lot of horrors, and that shaped him in a bad way.
Yeah,
and you're not trying to say he can be redeemed necessarily, because I don't think they're trying to set up his character that way, but I just think they're trying to give context of he's not all bad, especially what he does for Tori. Sure, he probably chopped off that guy's finger, but that guy deserved it, in a lot of ways. And so it shows that he's not all bad. He wants to do the karate stuff. There are honorable reasons that he's doing it. You're right, you do need to be able to defend yourself and be able to fight back. Does he take it to the extreme? Absolutely. But I do like that he's not fully just cartoony bad.
And the other reason, you're absolutely right. And the other reason I really like that flashback too is that it shows the birth of Cobra Kai. And unlike a lot of backstory and flashbacks and a lot of other shows and stuff, you don't always see. You see it, but the events aren't always lead to a believable motivation in the present. Whereas with John Crease's backstory, you're oh, I can understand why he thinks the way he does. I believe it. He fought in a really messed up war, saw some really messed up stuff, did some really messed up things. So yeah, you're absolutely right. This is one of the very few. This is actually one of the very few shows where the use of the flashback, I think, was extremely effective in showing why he does what he does in the present moment. So yeah. I almost forgot about those flashbacks, but yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the show's always done a really good job with flashbacks in general.
Yeah.
I mean, showing the movies,
the original
movies, especially season 1 and 2, they did a great job. And I hope they continue doing these types of flashbacks. I mean, I'm not sure if we necessarily need any more come like season 4 because, like you said, like we've finally humanized Crease, and you know, at some point I'll probably go back and rewatch Karate Kid, the first movie, and it's going to be interesting knowing all this new stuff about him, like all of his backstory, like how we got there. I mean, that's just going to make the movie, I think, 1,000 times better because
it's the Clone Wars effect.
Yeah, exactly. Having a terrible movie with sand and hating it, and then have a really cool animated series that, you know, fills in those gaps and makes it better. Maybe they'll do that on the sequel trilogy. Just kidding. Nah. They did a holiday special. That was good enough. So
you come here often then?
So you come here that often.
Least favorite parts?
Oh, I already said it was for me. Sam's fighting, but for you guys,
I gotta think about this.
I actually
so
have two.
many.
Oh,
I have two.
Yeah.
But I don't want to take one of yours potentially. But I'll go with my first one, and that's got to be Robbie. I think Robbie's whole arc in this and kind of
It's not great.
how he's been kind of dealt with wasn't great this season. It just felt like it felt like obviously the main characters forgot about him, but the writing staff also forgot about him, you know?
Yeah.
And he just disappeared, and it's like he's in juvie, and no one really cares. And I get that's part of his arc, and I think that's why he turns to Crease. But it just feels like it's a leap too far, especially because he was part of Miyagi-Do. And it's interesting because when you first meet Robbie, right, he's like not a good guy, right? He steals stuff. He was caught with Molly in school. That's why he was expelled.
Oh yeah.
And then, you know, and then he just all of a sudden becomes like all the way good.
Yeah, because he met a girl.
Right, because he met a girl, and Daniel LaRusso took him in.
Well, I mean, he was shown kindness, like
Sure.
maybe for the first time in his life. So it kind of, I mean, it makes sense. Like if he sees good, he's gonna, see good, do good, right? Like in theory, yeah. See bad, do bad.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of why I think he's where he's at right now.
Yeah.
That's what makes, that's what I kind of mentioned it at the top. Like I'm a little worried about how because you're right. They definitely, there were some leaps and bounds with him because he didn't get enough screen time.
No. Especially after what he did at the end of season 2, right? He should have been a main character, and it felt like he was the 7th, 8th most important character. Like, Tori got more screen time than him,
right?
For goodness sakes. And I honestly thought she wasn't going to appear in the season at all. I thought, like, her character was done.
Yeah.
The other thing, with Robbie's character is when he goes to talk to Sam at Miyagi Dojo, and he sees Miguel, his first thing isn't to like apologize, like, "Hey, I almost made you paralyzed / kill you."
Yep.
His first thing is to try and fight him.
Yes.
Which is like, what the fuck, bro?
Which again doesn't align necessarily with the character either. Like, even though he made a mistake, he, at least what we saw of him in the first 2 seasons, would have apologized. Because even when he sees Daniel, he's like, "I'll replace like that '93 Caravan I stole," So it's just, his character has always come to me off as the most inconsistent, and I think it was elevated to another level this season, just in terms of that inconsistency. I did like that they had him like strike first in juvie and stuff, and now he's our character who's probably now had the most Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do put into him.
That's true.
Which I hope in season 4 now they really show more of him and show his evolution and see how that goes, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if he's going to be representing
Cobra Kai
in the finals, he needs a lot more development
Yes.
and screen time for sure. I would agree with that, because that's how they're setting him up to be the one who physically opposes our protagonists, quote unquote protagonists, in the show. So he needs more for sure. I'm gonna say my least favorite part is probably Kyler. And the reason being is that I didn't quite understand why he and his friends would want to just do martial arts all of a sudden out of the blue. So they're bullies, and I could be wrong. Maybe I'm forgetting some stuff here from the first 2 seasons.
Yep.
But in the first season, they're like these bullies. They're jocks. How and why is John Crease able to be like, hey, come, fight for me? And they're just like, yeah, and they buy all the way in. And in a matter of, and I understand that their personalities lend them to being perfect Cobra Kai material because they're bullies.
Mm-hmm.
But why? But why?
Why did they do it?
Why do they do it?
So
I understand that.
I think you're supposed to make the leap here, and it's not great writing, but I think from some of the hints that they dropped, the Karate Kids have become the cool kids now, right?
Yeah.
And so even
The school is flipped upside down,
run by the nerds.
And so I think they want some of that status back.
Okay.
And I don't think that they didn't do a good job showing that, but that would be why
that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
That they want to join it too. And another thing I thought they did badly was Kyler wants revenge on Miguel. Right? Miguel kicked his ass in season 1, and so that's why they have that brutal fight. Did a horrible job showing that he wants revenge.
What was Kyler doing in season 2? Was he in?
So season 2 was the summer, right? So you just assume that they don't run into them because it's the summer.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, so that does make sense, but it's been. I just feel like Kyler, we haven't seen or
since
heard
the middle
from him.
of season 1,
and the motivation was weak in the beginning. It's just like he's a bully.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden he's back and he really hates Miguel, which I understand why, but it's like
there wasn't enough screen time there. There wasn't enough. Even if it was just a few lines or something, a conversation he has with Crease or somebody in Cobra Kai.
Yeah, if we had seen
that
more
at
of
least adds something.
If we had seen Crease recruiting them, instead of just being
montage.
I need athletes, and all of a sudden Kyler and his goons show up.
Well,
they
do show that.
montage.
No, I know, but I would see more of the actual speech,
right?
Because Crease is charismatic in his own dark.
Sure.
Well, remember the scene where they're at the city hall or whatever, and they're talking, and he's being really nice to the councilwoman,
manipulative
council
as
person.
hell.
Excuse me, sorry.
So good.
I like that. I think that was one of the fun things this season was where the bad guys, Hawk, Crease, they're obeying the rules in
Using
order
it to their advantage.
using it to their advantage. I thought they did a really fun, good job of showing that, which was great.
My other least favorite part, and this is more, and I think we've kind of hinted at, is it's the comings and goings of certain characters, and I think we mentioned it before, Aisha, just disappeared, and she was one of the best characters. She was an interesting character who had a really interesting arc. And she also had a unique position on the show because she was friends with both of your main characters. And then she was just gone.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's been some behind-the-scenes drama a little bit. The actress talked about how they just didn't want her back on the show, and the creators kind of, backstepped and said, we just didn't have enough screen time for her, and, she could potentially come back down the road. Then they pointed to characters like Kyler and Danny's cousin, and other characters that didn't necessarily appear in season 2 but appeared in season 3. I just thought it was poorly handled. And it kind of stinks because I think that connective tissue would have really helped. And I would be very interested to see which side does Aisha fall on? Within the whole, does she continue to go Cobra Kai? Does she go back? All that type of stuff.
She's part of the big fight, right? In end of season 2.
Yeah, you see her do some of the stuff, and that's the last you see of her. She just gets pulled out of school by her parents and
goes to
sent
a private school. Crazy.
Yeah, and then the other character would be Stingray, my personal favorite character.
Yeah, who's Stingray again?
It's the actor's name's Cole Hauser.
Okay.
He's appeared in a lot of different movies, and it's always kind of this comic relief.
Yeah, they wrote him out.
Yeah,
by saying what?
Oh,
that
guy.
He can't come anywhere near children in general.
He has a 500-foot restraining order. Even though at the end of season 2, you see him training with Crease in the dark version of Cobra Kai.
Right.
So it's just it's bad. It's just bad planning / writing. I think in our pre-show, we said these are very much like CW shows, but there's just a little bit more planning. Not a whole lot, clearly, because characters get dropped and then re-added and then dropped again all of a sudden.
That's true. Oh, we do have a comment here on YouTube. Oh, you guys have a uniform now.
We do. Thank you. We do have a uniform.
We do. I thank you for noticing.
Yeah, these are our gis.
Yes. Cobra Kai. Yeah.
It's a very, very comfortable sweater.
It is.
So, I know Ravi said that they're going to do 2 separate dojos, but if they do as one dojo, will they wear the white gis or the black gis?
I think again they're gonna keep things separate, right?
I think they should combine.
And what, half black,
Gray.
half white,
Yeah,
all red.
Well, Eagle Fang's red now.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a very interesting because we feel like we know exactly what's going to happen in season 4, but there's actually a ton of potential for misdirection and get thrown for loops. So I'm excited to see what they do. I think
here's,
we'll be.
here's one
pleasantly
thing I hope
surprised.
they don't do. I hope they don't do the typical Johnny Danny thing where they team up, they're about to kiss, then they fight.
But we know that's going to happen though, because they're going to have the growing pains of trying to teach a
Sure.
combined dojo. And you know that's not going to work well at first, and then they're going to have a reconciliation, and then that's going to become back more badass than ever.
I did like they had a reconciliation at the end of the season with
LaRusso and
with
Ali.
Allie. That's correct.
Yeah.
That she was kind of able to bring them together a little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully that carries over.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Cool.
A couple of quick comments from YouTube. As always, we do live stream these pods both on our YouTube channel and on our Twitch. You can find it at twitch.tv/wasitgood. From Sahara, what about Anthony? Anthony LaRusso is obviously the sister to Sam LaRusso and her brother, sorry. And all of a sudden, he just kind of appeared with a ice cream thing
Shocking.
and was 50 pounds lighter. Good on that kid.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to be season 5's focus. So when all these other characters come forward, it's going to be Anthony and his friends.
Can we just let's talk about Anthony real quick. Daniel LaRusso and his wife Amanda. Is it Amanda?
Amanda.
Yeah. They are terrible fucking parents.
What?
They are terrible parents.
They're
And the
teaching
reason
that kid how to
and the
fight.
reason they're terrible is
One.
they're teaching just the one kid. What about the other kid? Like
He
I
likes
get
his video games.
He likes
I
his,
get
pa-
that.
He likes
His
his
ice
PlayStation Vita.
right, but they're not monitoring. They're clearly not monitoring what he's doing.
Wait, how do you
Right? He could be like an online cyberbully.
Ravi, this is all part of the Master Cobra Kai plan. He will join John Crease and Cobra Kai in season 5 in their underground karate dojo.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It would be called
Oh my
Python.
And then,
Kai.
remember, they introduced Tori has a younger brother. He will join Miyagi-Do.
Oh, yeah.
And they will fight.
This is the second generation
Yep.
of
This
whatever.
This is generation 2.
We can keep it going forever.
I can't wait in 30 to 40 years when there's, I don't know, VR experience of the next story
Of Cobra Kai?
of Cobra Kai or this whole Karate Kid type stuff, and it's about Anthony.
I would just say
And
this.
he creates a law firm.
of all the revival spin-off things, this was like the most unlikely one to be successful, I feel like. But it has probably done a better job than 99% of them.
You know why? Because
Cobra Kai never does.
that absolutely. when you have a catchphrase like that, you're destined for success. But our two leads from the movie didn't want to do it and had to. So in order to make the show, the creators had to go above and beyond. So before they even had to convince us, they had to convince our two leads.
Wait, so they didn't want to do it?
Well, they were reluctant at first, right? Like
I don't know. Yeah.
it took some. I think it took.
Yeah,
some,
it took a little bit. It wasn't.
cajoling.
Yeah, it wasn't just a hey, we'll do it.
Yeah,
It was
it was like oh, we're good, and then it sounds like at least that the creators had to come to them with a great pitch, and the simple twist of making Johnny the focus and the redemptive arc and with the most growth to experience the most growth. I think that was that's the foundation for the show, and because it's the opposite of Karate Kid, and that totally works. And the message that he brings in today's world, where the morals are very different.
Yep.
It works. Somehow it works.
a man
love
stuck
it.
in the 80s living in 2020.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And not all by itself, but then you add the context of his past, his rivalry. It just makes for really good, or I don't know if it's good, but compelling storytelling.
Entertaining
Entertaining, there we go.
television.
Yeah.
Yes. And then also I think the fact that it's on the Netflix platform helps a ton.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't originally though.
No, originally it wasn't, but the
YouTube
fact that
Red.
it's now on Netflix
Yeah, that's true.
and it's being dumped all at once and it's a really good binge watch
Perfect. binge.
type show, then yeah, it's made for success. Folks, I think it's that time.
Well, actually, there is one thing I want to get to.
No.
At the end of the show, at the
just
end
said
of the
no.
season, John Crease is seen calling someone.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any guesses as to who he is calling?
He's calling
His friend
Jesus.
from the flashbacks.
Yes.
I forget his name, though.
But so his friend is likely the character known as Terry Silver.
Okay.
Now,
From Karate Kid 3?
so he is the villain from Karate Kid 3. So Karate Kid 3 is all about it also has John Crease in it, and John Crease, down and out, contacts his old war buddy, who is Terry Silver, and then they concoct this plan to destroy Miyagi-Do and Daniel LaRusso by having Terry Silver train Daniel LaRusso in the ways of Cobra Kai, which Daniel mentions in season 2 of Cobra Kai.
So it's this guy. It looks just like him.
Yeah. So it's likely Terry Silver. And he's contacting. So remember how? So he now the theory, but so Terry and John Crease are friends. But here's what I'm thinking: they'll have Terry Silver come in season 4, but then him and John Crease will disagree on something, and he'll start his own dojo.
4
There'll be 4 dojos in the U18.
That's amazing. I think we have to. I mean, I was reading a review, on Karate Kid or Cobra Kai season 3, and the big thing was, you have to go and rewatch Karate Kid 3 and study everything because, like Arjun was saying, it's going to be very, very important. This is
doing for the Karate Kid franchise what a lot of like the Clone Wars and Rebels did for Star Wars, where you have to watch them, or you don't have to watch them, but it just provides great context and elevates it. I feel like before season 4, we're gonna have to watch all 5 Karate Kid movies.
Now here's a question: does this inspire the creators to make a new Karate Kid movie?
Like a full blown movie?
Yeah, like
a Karate Kid 5?
Right, maybe that's how you end the show. You do an actual
movie. That would be really, really cool.
Depends. Because what they have right now works so well in TV format.
Yeah.
And we've seen that TV doesn't translate all that well most of the time to a movie. And I know that's ironic to say in this case because it was a movie first and then,
Yeah.
But like Entourage, I think is the best example I can think of. Great show, god awful movie.
Yeah.
Right. It didn't work. So,
unless
if they did it and they changed enough, I guess. I don't know.
What if they did it this way? Right. Season 4 is most of the build up to the U18 fight.
Wow.
And then the movie is just like that last month or two / tournament where you really get to focus in on the main characters. And look, companies are unafraid now to have movies where you need added context to watch the movie.
Yeah, especially in the age of streaming.
Right. In the age of streaming and where we're at, it's something that could be done, and it could potentially elevate the show.
Yeah.
And, I think there would be interest in another Karate Kid movie.
Yeah.
Potentially. I don't know. It's just an idea.
Yeah. Only if Jaden Smith is reprising his role as
That's the after credit scene.
Yes.
Jaden Smith and Hilary Swank come out and they challenge Daniel LaRusso to a fight.
No, but Jackie Chan has to pair with an eye patch, and he's like, I want to talk to you about the Karate Kid initiative. And then we have an Avengers. We have an Avengers team of Karate Kids. We actually do. We do now.
I bet if I had to make a guess, if season 4 is the last season, I bet Hilary Swank appears like at the very end in a post-credit scene to like challenge Daniel to a fight, or it's just like some type of fun Easter egg or something.
I mean, that'd be great.
That'd be fine. I think that would be cool because they never, from what I remember of Karate Kid 4, there's no real like mention.
I've never seen
of Daniel LaRusso.
I think there's a mention, but he's just not there.
He's not. Yeah, he's not physically in there.
She is another student of Miyagi, so
yeah,
that'd be interesting.
Might as well bring them all together.
Come together.
Yeah.
I think it's the time now, kids.
I think it is.
Krishna.
Yeah.
Was Cobra Kai season 3 good?
It was very good. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's one of the very few shows, I think, where to a person we all agreed that we could and would sit down for 5 hours, spaced out over 10 hours, and watch the entire thing.
That's what we did.
And that's exactly what we did. And I don't think you have to say much more than that. The fact that we were able to do that and enjoyed it and willingly did that, albeit on New Year's Day, nursing hangovers. Some of us, at least.
I didn't have a hangover.
Some of us. Okay, fine. Just me. It says a lot.
The secret is I was still drunk.
Oh.
That's my secret. I'm always drunk.
You're always drunk. Okay.
Drunk with power.
What would be the alcoholic version of the Hulk? Would it be like the booze? I am the Incredible Booze.
The Incredible
That could be a good superhero.
Boobs.
Boobs? Oh god. Oh god. Sounds like the Juggernaut now. Arjuna, was Cobra Kai season 3 good?
Yes. Was not the best season, but I think it was very good. A lot of setup
Yeah.
to, I think, what will be an explosive season 4.
Yeah. Potentially
Like
finale.
explosive, like diarrhea?
Could
Yes.
be. Depending on what you had.
Oh.
That's nice.
Ravi, was season 3 of Cobra Kai good?
Yes, it was. Not the best season.
Wow, it's like deja vu.
A lot of setup in the beginning.
just keep going.
Not enough fighting. I like the karate.
No. That was a lot of fighting.
Real quick. The
Yes.
the final fight
Yes.
in the LaRusso house,
Incredible.
incredible. I think it was
Didn't
better
make
than
any
I think it was better than the school fight.
No,
Yeah,
the
I
school fight
agree.
was better because that fight ended in such a shocking manner compared to
This one.
the house fight. The house fight, if anything, annoyed the hell out of me because you have you have people breaking and fucking entering, and you're telling me nobody,
Rabbit.
all these fucking kids with their phones, nobody had the goddamn common sense to call the fucking cops.
I
No,
think
because
it
they're all
was-
Christ.
they're all there to fight.
I also think it was better just because the fighting was they're better fighters than they were in the end of season 2.
Mhm.
It's more personalized, it's closer quarters, and I thought like the tracking shots and the cinematography was even better than the season 2 fight.
The set was beautiful.
Yeah.
That house was great. Like
That poor house.
that poor house. Yeah.
That poor fucking house.
I hope they have insurance.
Yeah, I just love how it's like kids are getting stabbed with glass, and it's people getting their arms broken in this season. It's like, yeah, no, part of the course. This is the valley we're talking about. Okay, martial arts. The martial arts is serious. Right, we take our martial arts seriously in the valleys.
Way too serious.
Nobody bats an eye.
Also, like karate Cobra Kai, we want to just shout out the Dodgers.
Oh god, so much product placement. It was
the
glorious.
fucking Dodgers.
That was even a State Farm.
State Farm
Yeah,
ad
State
read
Farm
in
ad.
the show.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Well, they also had the Enterprise, too.
one.
Enterprise
oh yeah,
ad.
we just set you up with the Enterprise. Well, they'll pick you right up.
Yeah. Also, we didn't mention the best part of the season. The two little kids.
Becoming friends again.
Becoming enemies, but the best line of maybe the season, if you would die, I wouldn't even come to your funeral. Like, that's his insult. Like, not a, it's like, if you died, I wouldn't even come to your funeral. I mean, what a line! So much emotion packed into it. And then they became friends at the end, and we all, to a person, cheered. Wow.
We did.
We all
we did
clapped cheer when they were like, again.
That's gonna do
That'll
it
be
for
the
us.
spin-off.
That's
The two little
that
kids.
that I
The
would
two little
watch.
kids.
Thank you again for listening, joining, watching, all that fun stuff. You can find us on Twitter at Was It Good, on Instagram at Was It Good BTM. Shout out to all those new followers on Instagram. We got some fun content coming out there, so be sure to follow along, check it out. As always, we live stream these pods on YouTube and on Twitch. Twitch is going to be twitch.tv/wasitgood. And yeah, we'll be back in a couple days. Talk about something.
Yeah, maybe it'll be like a nice, fun. I gotta tell you about my idea. We'll do it after this pod. We'll do it on the live stream.
Goodbye. I think Monday's
Still
pod.
recording. Or I mean, we're still streaming.
I think Monday's pod should be. We should find like a question, like a big question, like a debate.
Or we could do my YouTube, my Yahoo idea.
Well, that's not really a good podcast because it's more
you're
visual.
Right. No,
yeah.
you're right. But June, I had a live stream idea. This is easy live stream content that we can get in every week. So 2, 3, however many of us, basically go to the Yahoo homepage, and you scroll down and read the headlines, comment on them, and then click into the ones that you find interesting.
Maybe
and talk about it.
we'll wait on that one until I don't work there.
No, you don't work for Yahoo.
That's true. Well, I mean, I work for their owners.
So hey, Bobby, they don't own you. Okay,
Everyone owns me.
they don't own you.
We are still streaming.
But
sorry.
our Monday pod I think should be answering the oldest question in the
Was it
book.
good?
Was it good?
No. What is a
Open-ended.
worse movie premise than Star Trek 4: The Whale one?
I mean,
Oh, like a movie.
You made me
premise.
watch that.
Yes.
And you didn't watch Mad Max. So I hate you, and I refuse to do that podcast.
No, we can just discuss some of the worst movie premises of all time.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really fun one.
Like The Hobbit 2.
What?
No, but the premise is fine. The execution on the movie is terrible.
First of all, the execution is flawless. Okay? Those are perfect movies.
The Hobbit.
If you are a brain dead child,
Okay.
Thank you.
and which I am, and therefore they're incredible.
What's he trying to do?
Jump up on this thing.
Nice. Real quick, if you are watching on Twitch,
Yeah, we had some issues, huh?
it wasn't us actually. I checked on Down Detector. Twitch's entire chat platform, I guess, shit the bed.
Wow, he's being a little bitch.
Hiss at him.
No,
Hiss. Let's see your hiss.
That's not a comfortable sound on a live stream.
Well, no, you like you move away from the mic.
No, you should do it into the mic.
But yeah, if you are
You'll
on the
encourage
Twitch
him.
side, apologies. It wasn't us. It was Twitch. So I can't really control
It was
that.
Microsoft.
Microsoft. But yeah, we'll come up with something fun. For
We'll have
Monday.
news and stuff. Like there's some news items.
I think everyone should bring to the table the worst movie of 2020.
No, because there wasn't enough movies.
Oh
in
wait, have you
2020
seen that
to, like-
documentary, Death to 2020?
I haven't watched it yet.
You should.
Should. It's really
Yeah,
funny.
we could talk about that.
Could do that one.
That could be a good one. Because that could be our 2020 in review. We'll do it through the
Aha.
lens of that movie
Yes.
or mockumentary.
So it's a mockumentary.
It's a mockumentary. Yeah.
For some.
Well, is it though?
It is and it isn't because everything in it is fact.
Yeah,
but
that-
it's presented with real actors playing fake people.
Right.
So what is that? I don't know.
it is classified as a mockumentary.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's a mockumentary based on real things. I guess.
Well,
Real
every-
life
According to
things.
the every actor is playing someone else.
right. No one's playing
Like
themselves.
Samuel L. Jackson is playing Dash Brackett.
Yeah.
Hugh
Oh.
Grant is playing Tennyson Foss.
Look up the name that oh my god, Kumail is playing. Kumail Nanjiani.
Mark Multiverse, CEO of Shrieker.
Yeah.
Technology company.
That name is great. Multiverse.
I don't like it.
How the hell did the door open?
That was weird.
That was creepy. And then I guess there's so many moving trash outside.
Yeah.
So many noises.
So many noises. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll do that.
Yes, we will. What are we doing?
You know what we're doing.
I think we can kill the live. I have to eat. I'm hungry.
You hungry?
Well, what do we want to? I guess we can discuss on live. Arjuna, who he's talking to at the end. That should be a
Yup.
clip.
The theory.
Clip.
Is it a fan theory or just a regular theory?
It's just a theory.
It's
Reddit.
a well informed theory. I think it's been confirmed that the friend at the end who's like, "I'll always be your friend," is supposed to be Terry, and then that flashback happens right before he calls someone.
Right.
So heavily implied. Now, the reason they probably didn't have the actor appear at the end of season 3 is because he is retired. He retired in 2007
From acting?
from acting.
You can do
Trying
that.
to get him out.
So they probably didn't have enough time to convince him, or they wanted to save it for season 4 if they could get him, or like not just have it be a cameo.
Terry Silver.
So
Nice. Okay. Like that.
I mean, the guy looks like a villain.
He does? Terry Silver?
Yeah.
Or Crease? Because Crease, let's be honest, right?
Terry Silver. Like, he looks like he's got a 1990s ponytail. Like, I mean, from Karate Kid 3. And
Yeah.
you know, you look at him and you're like, yeah, that's a bad guy.
Yeah, but
Why would you ever, like, go to him?
would you guys agree, though, that Martin Cove, who plays Crease,
Yeah.
is like the quintessential look for a villain?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've never seen anyone who just looks like, if you saw them, they look like a villain. Like, he just was born to play.
A villain?
you guys want to
Born
hear
to
something
play.
funny about the actor who plays Terry Silver?
Yes.
He is a year younger than Ralph Macchio.
Wait, I'm confused.
That's just how young Ralph Macchio looks.
That's crazy.
Even when even in Karate Kid, right?
Yeah.
He looks like he's 12 years old and he's like 30.
So, so Karate Kid, the Karate Kid Part 3 was released in 1989, right?
Yeah.
Let's say they're filmed in 1988.
Yep.
Ralph Macchio was 27 when he filmed that, and he's supposed to be 18 or 17.
Holy
Because
crap!
remember, he fights in the
He
under
got the-
18 tournament.
He's got them good genes. Like, good for him. Like, that's crazy. Wish I had that. I look like I'm 100.
You said it.
So this is my set. It's my Darth Vader helmet. That's Boba Fett up there.
Actually, so the guy who played Terry Silver, Thomas Ian Griffith, even though most of the reviews for Karate Kid 3 are negative, his performance was praised for the
Really?
Mhm.
Oh, I hope he comes back.
Was praised?
Yeah,
Because it would be sucked out.
a lot of people thought he was a pretty good villain for the third one. So it would be interesting if he came back.
John Nichols just tweeted this out 30 minutes ago. I'm in the mood to watch a not good movie. Has anyone seen Cobra Kai? I only need it to not make me regret every single second I spend watching it.
Does he realize it's a show, not a movie?
I don't know.
Well, he's in his world is about to get rocked. So tell him to watch that. Just put on episode 1 and have fun. We'll see him in 3 days.
It'll probably. I mean, that thing is such a easy, good,
Oh,
bingeable
It's like what?
type show.
It's one of the most bingeable things of all time.
This is my Mandalorian.
Hold on, I
armor.
want to do a slow fade because we're talking about an 80s show.
Okay. Whoa! Let's do every single silly transition. Is there a swipe one?
It has to be, right?
Yeah. Right. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Whoa! Do it again.
Whoa, that's the Star Wars one.
Yes, that's a really good one.
That was the Star Wars one.
Junior, you're only gonna.
Oops, no Star Wars one.
You should only do those types of transitions going forward.
They're so goofy. Just like Karate Kid. I mean, Cobra Kai.
And now I'll take you
Ooh.
to here. Flashback to 2 minutes ago. Flash forward.
Wait, and you can change the timing on it too.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Can
The
make
click
it-
of a
can make
button.
it even slower.
Oh, shit.
I'm now going to send it over to my brothers in Sweden. Well, it's back to me. Now I'm sending it back.
Hi, this is Sweden. Das vidania. That's Russian.
All right, I think we can get out of here.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Sorry about
day.
the technical difficulties on the Twitch side, but blame Twitch, not us. Bye.